Welcome to Investments 115. I figure if you've gotten this far, you've clicked on Intro Podcast, you're on the home page of the class. Realize just going over quickly some of the major components of the class so you can get started and get working on your assignments in this online class. Realize I do have the syllabus here on the home page. If you click here, the syllabus is going to open. You should be familiar with your syllabus so you know pretty much all the requirements of the class. You might want to go ahead and print it. The schedule is the last part of the syllabus. This goes over everything we will do, the competencies, how you're being graded. Realize that there is one grade that actually parts this the final, which is part of the grade. There's a midterm also, but if you take the midterm, it's just all extra credit points if you take it. There are 3 projects that compose of a Dropbox project plus some multiple choice questions that are in quizzes. There are 3 graded discussions that are done in VoiceThread. There is a getting started activities, which means you have to go through and do the D2L orientation, and then if you've already done it, then just submit that a certificate. There is a couple little quizzes to take. And then there are 10 lessons. We have 10 weeks of classes, or 10 lessons. Each lesson activity is 10 points. The big part of the class is, of course, that we're going to be trading stocks, bonds, options, everything. You're going to get used to investing. And this is the major part of the class. Every week I expect you to post what you've done that week, even if you've not done anything. Buy and hold strategies, especially for the first few weeks of class, is a fine strategy to follow, that you can just go ahead and post the same portfolio that I send you. But hopefully as we progress, you'll get a little braver and start doing some trades. And then there's a quiz on each of the lessons. And you can take the quizzes, each of them quiz 3 times. And your highest grade is what is recorded in the grade book. So this goes through explaining what each part was. Again, the calendar's at the very end, right? Showing what we're doing each week in the class. And my due dates are pretty much Sundays, right? Everything is due Sunday night. Okay, so going back to your home page, I have that there. Help with D2L if you need to contact someone to help you with D2L. The calendar also then gives you the calendar of what to do. If you've not used D2L before, I give you a podcast as of how to set up your settings so you get notifications every time I post a grade, or when there's something due, you'll get a notification either however you want it, on a text message on your phone, an email to your email. So that's what's on the first page, right? And this goes right into the first week's assignments and getting started. But I'm going to go through the first week's assignments by going through content, because everything's in content for this class. So in content, I have it, of course, divided into 10 weeks. Syllabus is here also. And then all the getting started activities, right? You're going to go ahead and you click on getting started. Right? And this tells you what you're going to be doing in getting started. You're going to go ahead and do a D2L orientation and make sure you know how to use D2L, because that's all you're going to be using this class. You can then go and get a certificate at the end of that certification, that class, right? You're going to click through the content of that class, get a certification, post it in the Dropbox. You know how to post an assignment in the Dropbox. There's a little quiz on what's in the syllabus, and then you're going to introduce yourself in the discussion board so you know how to post something in discussions. Then I give you information of how to use VoiceThread. VoiceThread is an interactive software that we'll be using to do our graded discussions, those 3 graded discussions, and gives you information on that. Then you're going to go back to the content or click on getting started again. Once you do the D2L orientation, you're going to post it here in our Dropbox. This is again where your quiz on desire to learn. You're going to introduce yourself in the discussion board. And I also give you, again, I sent you through the email, but the trading portfolio you're going to start with, right, for the first trading week. Then the class is divided into 10 weeks, right? I have a lesson. Notice you have no textbook. All your textbooks are in the lesson. So you click on week 1, right? Week 1 is where we're going to start it. You click on the lesson. This is just an introduction of what we're covering. It says we're talking about the investment environment. So I give you a short podcast, and it's going to tell you how long that podcast is. Once we get in here, sorry, it takes a little longer to load, and my internet must be kind of slow right now. But you'll go into the lesson. It's coming, and it's transferring data, and it's being slow, and there it is, lesson 1, right? And this gives you a short 3.5-minute podcast you watch. This just tells you what we're going to cover in this lesson, what I expect you to be learning this lesson. And then at the bottom here, for the bottom of every lesson, it's going to say lesson 1, reading these activities. I'll say lesson 2. You're going to go ahead and click here. It's going to go into the actual content of that lesson, right? It gives you what's in there. And right, it's going to go real versus financial assets, fixed income securities. It's going to talk about bonds, stocks, right? So it's going to give you a whole bunch of really definitions. This is in the first lesson. And then at the bottom of the lesson, it's going to always be at the bottom of the lessons, there's going to be a homework. And right under it says homework, you're going to click here. This one is a crossword activity because it really is a lot of definitions. You're going to do the crossword, right? It's going to give you a score. You're going to take a picture. So I usually use a snipping tool. And if you don't know where a snipping tool is, just go ahead and put it in your little search box. It's going to come up with a snipping tool. Once you're doing this, you're going to take a little snip. You have to save it as, it just says new. You'll take a snip of it, right? Right, you're going to save it as some type of file, and then you'll go back to, and it's going to say to the lesson. I'll close this now, and you're going to go back to week 1. After you do that lesson, the activity, you'll go back to week 1. You'll go to the Dropbox, and you'll submit that picture in that Dropbox. Once you feel really good about the lesson, you're going to take the lesson 1 quiz, right? And this goes into the investment portfolio discussion we're going to have here and in voice thread, right? Because every week, at the end of the week, you're going to post any changes you made to the portfolio, right? Okay, so that's where you can go through and get through everything in the class. But the other way is you can go under communication and get to discussions, right? That's another way to get to the discussions, right? Any questions on the course, this is where we're going to introduce yourself. So yes, you can go through content, but you can also go through the navigation bar up here. This also is where you go ahead and get to the Dropbox. If you want to get here to the Dropbox, and you'll see all your Dropbox assignments. And I'm going to go ahead and view as a student. So now it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to go back to my home page and look a little different. But I want to show you this is also under assessments. Besides getting to the Dropbox, under assessment is also where you're going to go ahead and see your grades. So right here you go under assessments, go to grades. Also you can go to quizzes here, right? So again, through content or through the nav bar here. You go to grades, your grades will show up. On the quizzes, it automatically shows up. It does show the midterm as bonus points. The final, if you are one of the winners, right? There are going to be 2 winners on the trading portfolio. 2 winners, the top 2 people who get the best portfolio return won't have to take the final, they'll just get the 50 points. Class list is important because this is where you're going to go if you want to email me. I click on class list, click on my name, it's going to generate an email, and this is going to be the easiest way to email me, and I get back to you really fast in D2L, right? Because I look at this all the time, so that's just how you do that. So let's talk about the portfolio. So I sent you the initial portfolio. It also is here in content under getting started, right? It's in the getting started section of the class, right? So realize it shows that I did one of the topics because I already did one of the things here. But the trading portfolio is here. You'll download it, right? And once you download it, it's downloading. Sorry, I think it's taking a little longer on my computer here. It's going to come up. And what I did is I bought a whole bunch of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds. We're going to talk about this all throughout the class. I'm going to have a meeting Tuesday night at 7, and then we're having a little discussion also on when's the best time to meet. I'm going to have just online chats to go over the portfolio, to go over ideas about the portfolio, and also to go over the math in the class, right? So if you have any problems with any of the quizzes, right, you're going to have to, when you do this, is make sure you enable your editing. You're going to fill in your name, of course, because everybody wants to put their own name. You want to enable content, right? And here, data lookup, this is where you're going to upload, go to upload, I You're going to have to enable your macros, right? Anytime you do this, oops, didn't like it for a second there. And see it updated February 19th. It updated all my dates. It's going to give you the new last price for all the different securities, right? So again, once you start trading, you're going to go ahead and change the names here, right? Because you're going to want to look up those. But if you go ahead and if you want to keep what I have, everything kind of here is how you look it up. I'll go over how to look at the bonds during our time period and everything else, because of course we have stocks, we have a few exchange traded funds, just 2 of them, a couple of bonds, about 4 mutual funds, 2 index funds, and 2 options, right? And then I have a money market account that I put the rest of the money in, because I gave you $1 million, money market account that you can trade through too. Okay, so I'm hoping this is giving you a general idea about the course. Make sure you put any questions you have, again, under communication, under discussions. You post any questions in the class there. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I do try to get back within 24 hours for everything that's posted. I do try to grade things very quickly. And I do have this discussion on the weekly chat when will be a good time to meet with me. So good luck. This should be really fun. I usually learn things from you too, because we all find new things about the market. It's really an exciting time because the market's kind of becoming really crazy right now. And I wish you luck in the class, and I hope you learn a lot about investing. My goal is for you to figure out, okay, do I like doing this? Or am I willing to pay someone to do this for me? Because realize it's one of the 2 choices. Either you do it or you pay someone. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Good luck with the course.